Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card for Newton's Nook Designs, and we are using one of the brand new August release items. This is called Paw-tumn Newton, kind of like a play on autumn with the word paw. So sweet. It's a 3x4 stamp set, smaller one, but there are coordinating dies that you can purchase if you prefer dies, but makes it so nice. I didn't know that usually smaller stamp sets don't have the dice, so I really appreciate that Newton's Nook has the smaller dice with the smaller sets. Makes things a little bit easier, and the price point is better too. So let's get to stamping. Today's card's going to be pretty clean and simple. There's a large image of a fall floral arrangement, and the Newton's kind of peeking behind it. And then he's kind of peeking behind a pumpkin too, along with a little bird. So sweet. There's also another smaller pumpkin in the stamp set. There's 2 leaves, and we're going to stamp the largest of the 2, which I'm going to call a pecan leaf. Don't quote me. I know what a maple leaf looks like, but I'm calling this a pecan leaf only because I have a cookie cutter that's about the same shape, and whenever I make my pecan pies, I put pecan pie crust made with a pecan leaf cookie cutter around the edge of my pies, and so that's why I'm calling it a pecan leaf. But there's also a little bitty acorn, and we're going to stamp that as well. We're going to make a nice fall card today. There's a sentiment in the stamp set. This is Happy Paw-tumn, so that's what we're going to use. I stamped with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. We're going to stamp 3 in total of those little pecan leaves, and then I'm also going to restamp that pumpkin. It looks like I got a little bit of heavy-handed on that. Originally I was going to use zig markers, that's why I brought out my clear embossing powder and used my VersaFine ink, but I changed my mind. I thought we would go for, instead of, sometimes zig markers can get real bright, I wanted to go for a little bit more of a subdued color, so I think I can control that with my Copic markers. So that's what we're going to use to color in our images today. There I stamped the pumpkin, and then we're also going to stamp one more of those little cute little acorns. I'm going to cover my panel here with my clear embossing powder. It's going to stick to that VersaFine ink, and then I'll use my heat gun and melt the embossing powder. Well, I did leave the coloring in. I'm going to play a little music while I color, and then when I'm done coloring, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is just about done. I'm just finishing up the leaves here. We're going to color in the little pine needles too, just to add a little shading behind them, just so we have a little extra greenery. But those are our images, super cute. I'm going to take the dies. I just used my nippers and separated them. We're going to die cut out all of our images. And then you can see it's about a 3-inch, maybe a little less than 3 inches. That's how big the image is. So it's going to make a great focal point on my card. Once everything is die cut, we're going to zoom back out. I'm going to scoot everything aside and we're going to work on our background. Super simple background. All I'm doing is going to bring in a panel that I die cut out with the frames and flags die set. I used the largest die in that set. It has a scalloped border and then also has stitch detail. So that's where we're going to stamp our sentiment. I'm going to use my image as a guide on where to stamp our sentiment. This says Happy Paw-tumn. So cute. I'm going to bring in some brown ink to stamp my sentiment, and I'm lifting it up because I wanted to put a bow right behind, right below Newton and also the sentiment. This is Memento Rich Cocoa ink. I'm going to add it to my sentiment, and I have a piece of lint on here. I'm going to wipe that off real quick and then add a little bit more ink. We are going to stamp our sentiment right next to Newton, who's peeking. Isn't he so cute? I love him. Looks like he's wants to be friends with that little birdie there. Okay, sentiment looks great. We are going to remove our panel, and then I'm going to bring in some yellow and white gingham ribbon. I was going to just wrap it around the scalloped edge and thought it would be nice if I left the scallop edge and went along the stitch detail with my craft knife and added little slits. This way we can kind of thread our ribbon through there, leaving the scalloped edge intact. Just going to use my craft knife and kind of thread my ribbon through the top piece here. And then make sure my threads, or my calling it thread, but it's ribbon, but I'm making sure that my ribbon is not twisted, kind of laying it flat, and then we'll tuck the other end, the right side, through the slit. You just want to make sure that I used the grid lines on my mat to make sure that it was nice and even. Okay, we're going to tie a bow all the way to the left, and after we have our bow tied, we're going to make sure Newton fits there good. I wasn't sure if I needed to lower it a little bit, but I think that's going to look great. We're going to add foam adhesive behind our Newton here, and then we'll add him just above our ribbon. The ribbon is kind of actually grounding him, which is what I wanted. We're going to add our little pumpkin. The pumpkin's actually going to be layered on top of the ribbon, so I think we better tie our bow first here. And you can see the scalloped edge just continues around. Now if I put ribbon on the outside edge, you wouldn't see that scallop there, so I think it looks really pretty. Just fluff up that bow here. We are going to trim off the tail. And I think the softness of that yellow gingham ribbon, I just think was enough. I didn't want to add too much. We'll just lift this up so it goes over the top of the ribbon. We're going to flip this panel over. Before we go any further, add this to our card base. We're going to add a little bit of dimension by using some foam tape. My mat's kind of sliding. Gotta straighten that up. But we'll remove the release paper and add this to a standard A2 size card base. And you can see it leaves a little bit of a white border. This is like the perfect panel size. And I'm loving that. Okay, after we have this adhered, we'll add our little pumpkin just above the ribbon there. And then I was going to call them maple leaves, but the pecan leaves are perfect size to add a small foam square behind. So we'll pop these up. I want them to kind of give the feel that they're flowing in a fall breeze, which was just Monday, I think, was the official day of fall. I love fall. I don't know about you guys. I love the colors of the changing leaves. Well, here in Kansas, you can really see the fall leaves. I mean, golden colors and oranges and rust colors and greens. It's just gorgeous. I really love it. We have a huge tree outside of our new house now, and looks like we need to invest in some rakes because they're coming down. Okay, there's our little acorns right below our smaller pumpkin there. I'm happy with that. And then for finishing touches, I'm not doing much. All I'm going to do is add a little bit of glistening. We are going to use some Ranger stickles. This is the color Glisten. And it has some real warm tones in here, and I think we'll just edge the leaves along with the center of our sunflowers and then the tops of our acorns. And I just think that looks super cute. Love the little Newton. And I don't know if you guys have follow Newton's Nook Designs on Instagram, but they always show some fabulous little kitties on there. They have 2 new additions to their family. I encourage you guys to check them out. But have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining me. We will see you soon.